What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Literature Leadership. I'm so sorry that it's been taking a little while for me to actually get this video out with work and all the travel that I have been doing over the last month, being in Florida and Colorado for a week, and then what was the other spot that we went to? Missouri for a week, taking kids to these camping trips and camps. Been super busy, so my apologies for being late. But we did not forget this heat, all right? Did not forget this heat. So if you guys have been following along, obviously we have been going over the 4 agreements. So we've gone over 1 and 2 in our last video. So if you did like those last videos or you did not watch those last videos, please go ahead and give those things a look, because we're on number 3. So you can still listen to it, you know, tap in. But if not, it'd be really great if y'all want to go watch those second videos. Leave a comment, leave a like on this video and or the other ones, because I love to have dialogue. I love to have conversations with you guys, because again, I'm the only one in this room and I'm not trying to be the smartest one. I love to talk about leadership. So if you have any comments or anything like that, anything that stood out to you, let me know. I love to talk about it with you guys. Excuse the light. I feel like this video is also just a little bit too bright, but it's like very early in the morning and I have no natural light, so I have to like artificial everything. So if it might be a little too bright, I'm super sorry for that, because like we ain't got no light. I'm dark and like it's dark in here and it's just not a good contrast, okay? But again, 4 agreements, Don Ruiz, really great emotional book as far as like just emotional intelligence, learning how to process your own emotions via the lens that he gives us. And on top of that, I think it just really can help us grow as leaders when it comes to building relationships, and even just how we view ourselves as leaders as well. And this 3rd agreement is going to be super important. And I'd say it's really important, especially when you have an opportunity to lead a group of people. More importantly, like a lot of the notes that I took for this chapter, I can really just think about for my job and what I get to do. If you don't know what I get to do, and I know y'all didn't ask, but essentially I get to run a youth program for a nonprofit mentoring group. We predominantly serve boys who don't have father figures at home, and we serve them from kindergarten all the way to graduation. And I get to specifically work with all the middle schoolers and high schoolers, running their programs, all of their field trip and camping opportunities, helping them out with mentors, teaching them about leadership, what it looks like to become a man of God, and just like hopefully they can pass their classes and stuff like that, but just becoming young men. So that's what I get to do. Super awesome. I love it. And I'm responsible for coaching, training, equipping all of the coaches, hiring them on, interviewing, and all these things. So when I read this, I view it from that lens of administration as well, and delegation. So the 3rd agreement is do not assume. It's real simple. Do not assume. And I really personally like this one. I'm not sure if it's my favorite, but it's really high up there. I think all of the points that he makes for the 4 agreements are really, really important. But this is why we shouldn't assume. It says here that the problem with making assumptions is that we believe that they are true. And essentially, like, we might not explicitly say that these assumptions are true, but implicitly we act as if they are. If I assume that someone says something to me to hurt me, although that might not be the truth and I am assuming it, I still feel as if it's true, and I still move as if it's true as well. If we assume that someone didn't hear us or someone heard us, they were just ignoring us, again, we assume, and it's not true, but we act like it kind of is internally. And I'm sure y'all can think of countless situations where that has been the case. Like you at McDonald's and you ordered a meal and you trying to talk to somebody and nobody hears you and you think everybody ignoring you. So you assume that everybody's ignoring you and they don't want to serve you. You kind of mad. You kind of salty because you like, bro, I'm at McDonald's, man. Like, how dare you not listen to me, bro? Like, this is McDonald's. I can go to Chick-fil-A if I want to, right? But we assume, right? And we implicitly accept that it is truth and it affects our emotions. Says that making assumptions goes against the 2nd agreement. We take assumptions personally and then we blame the other for our thoughts. If you don't remember, last agreement was don't take it personally. And again, if we are assuming truth in the thoughts that we have and assumptions about other people, not only are we taking that personally, but then we're pushing that thought onto another. And we're making them responsible for the thoughts that we have. Does that make sense? I love how I asked y'all if that makes sense, but y'all can't even like say yes or no. So type in the comments, man, if y'all, that makes sense, man. Type in the comments, man. One main point here is always ask questions. You always want to ask questions. Why? Because it's your right. It's always best to be able to ask for clarity instead of under communicate, expect something to happen, assume that it's gonna happen and everything is fine, and it doesn't happen and things fall through the cracks. So when I'm having trainings, or let's not even say trainings, let's say that there's something that happened in my program and I need the coaches to know what they need to do for the next day. I could either tell them once and let them go and let them be. Most likely they're probably gonna forget, and this is no shot, but you tell me one time, that's probably not enough. Tell them once, they go do it, I come back and I'm like, hey y'all, what's going on? Did this happen? And they're like, oh snap, actually it didn't happen, we forgot. I'm gonna be upset. But that's also because I assumed that they understood what it is that I asked them to do after telling them only once, all right? So when it says to ask questions and now that you're right, I could follow up and I can ask questions. Hey, like, what did you guys think about what we talked about? Hey, how are you guys planning on doing this thing, right? The more I ask them questions, the more that they can understand that this is something that I might need a little bit more clarity on, or maybe that this is something that is important and therefore they might take it a little bit more seriously. Okay, it turned off one more time. Excuse me. Through me consistently asking them questions, they'll be able to understand like, hey, maybe this is something that I'm trying to emphasize, or maybe something that he needs, maybe this is something that he needs clarity on, okay? Asking questions is super, super helpful because I remember that Pittsburgh Steelers coach, Mike Tomlin, even in an interview, he said, and from when I was really young, I heard a lot of people say this, like, when you assume, it makes an ass out of you and me, ASSUME, get it? And that's really what happens. You assume, you're holding people to an expectation, you're holding them accountable to something, and if you just asked a couple of more questions, they would have known that this was something that was important, but instead, now you're choosing to be upset and mad and blame them for the assumption that you made when you could have just clarified. Clarity is kind. Ask questions. It's your right. Assuming changes the way that we see the world. It focuses your vision. Never assume in relationships. They are not fair. Yeah, this is super good. When we do assume, again, because we're accepting this truth internally when we assume outwardly. And that gives us a new perspective, that gives us a new lens. Therefore, we start to act differently, we start to maneuver differently because we have this new lens, right? But it really doesn't broaden our vision. It really focuses and narrows in our vision. We get more specific about something that we might not truly know. And if we're building relationships with people, it really can blur our vision a lot because we can assume people's character. We can assume that people like something that they don't. We can assume that people are more willing to do different things towards each other and or towards us, so that when situations do occur and we have all of these assumptions in our hearts, it's like you run down the list of all the assumptions you've already previously made about this person, and then this event happens, and now you have a whole other disposition about how you feel about it and what you want to do about it, and none of these assumptions may be accurate, and that's not fair, and that's not good. Because it's selfish. You are thinking of these thoughts. You have never communicated these things. You have never asked questions, but yet you are so willing to hold this one person to the thoughts that you have conjured up in your mind that you never spoke about. It's not okay. Not okay at all. Says here that over-communication for clarity is better than assuming. Over-communication for clarity. Not over-communication in general, but for clarity's sake. Because I used to be an over-communicator. It's not helpful. No one really wants to be around people who over-communicate. I've had experiences with people who over-communicate. Like they'll introduce me or they'll say stuff and they're just like communicating things that are nobody's business. That's not really the best. So when it's talking about over-communicating, you're talking about over-communicating for clarity's sake, which kind of gets into the ask questions because it's your right. Because you don't want to assume. If I'm not 100% sure what I'm supposed to be doing, or if someone truly understands what I am asking for them to do, then I'm gonna overly communicate and be overtly like clear and blunt as I can be so that there can be understanding and 000 room for miscommunication. It's most helpful, even as leaders. If we have tasks that need to be done, if we have a specific way, like we have the vision and we have people who are there to help us with this vision, we need to be extremely clear with this vision and give very, very clear direction so that it can be the easiest for the people who are following us and the people who are working for us to walk in that, and they don't have to guess. When I do trainings, like we're about to do a discipline training really soon, I want my coaches to have zero excuse. I want them to not even have to think about certain situations. If this happens with a kid, you do this. If that happens with a kid, you do that. If any of these things happen, this is your immediate response. And I want it to be almost black and white. Obviously it's not, but I want them to have that confidence. And that confidence only comes through over communication, clarity, and question asking. I don't want to assume, because everyone has a different personality, everyone has different emotions and their own assumptions, and that affects how they see the world. So if I know that I want discipline done a certain type of way, if I know that I want talking to parents done a certain type of way, if I know that I want this building put together and designed a certain type of way, I need to do my best to be as clear as possible, because clear is kind. This is probably like maybe the fifth thought. Ask for what you want. And just ask for what you want. So underrated. I don't know why it gives like so much anxiety at times. Like you're like, oh, I don't want to. I know I feel that too. But like you should not feel that way. If it's what you want, you have every right to ask for it. Don't assume and tell yourself no before you even have an opportunity. That's something that will always, it's always going to change my life. When I read this, you know, before I'd always be like, nah, they're probably just gonna say no. Nah, I'm probably bothering them. And you never know if you don't ask. Why would you deny yourself of an opportunity because of your pride? Why would you deny yourself of an opportunity because you're too afraid to ask for what you want? If this is something that you genuinely want, ask for it. Figure it out. Hey, I want a raise. I need to figure out what that looks like. How can I talk about this? Hey, I don't want this on my sandwich. I actually had when we took the boys to this Colorado trip, they gave us this nice looking salad, man. It was like chopped in half, romaine lettuce, had some ranch on the top, bacon bits. Junk was nice, some grape tomatoes on there. But I couldn't tell that it was ranch or not. I thought that it was either Caesar dressing or ranch. It was a white sauce. Me, I'm weird. If you know me, I don't really like white sauces like that. It's just the texture and consistency type of thing for me. So when I sit down, it's a full, 12 plates. All of them have the exact same salad. And I'm just sitting waiting because I really want this salad. And I'm like, hey, can y'all tell me if this is ranch or not? They're like, it's ranch. I said, dang. So I just moved the salad up and I didn't eat it. And I saw everybody else eating it. And I'm like, I really want this salad. I just really don't want that dressing. And I could have just sat there and not said anything. But why would I deny myself the opportunity to eat some food that I know I want to eat? That I know, and I'm hungry. So I asked for someone to come in and I was like, hey, is there any way that y'all have any other dressings and that y'all can make this dish for me just with another dressing? And they're like, yeah, of course, we got you. And they did. And I bust that salad down while I was hungry. That junk tasted so good with some balsamic vinaigrette dressing and the bacon bits, man. It was really good. But I never would have had it if I never asked. I needed to ask. Here's another thing. I went to the university, my alma mater, a couple of weeks ago, and maybe 2 or 3 years ago, I was able to give a keynote speech there. Super awesome opportunity. I've been kind of just waiting to have other opportunities like this. Like I want to be able to build my resume, do all of these different things so that people can reach out to me. But then I noticed, like, why would I wait on someone else to give me the thing that they don't even know that I want? I just need to ask for it. So not only was I there and I'm like, hey, if y'all need a speaker, let me know. And they're like, yeah, we need a speaker. Come on, like we'd love to have you. You never know if you don't ask. People are throwing these big events, especially there's a youth event coming up in Dallas really soon. And I know the guy who's putting it on. I'm like, bro, I don't know if y'all have all your speakers yet, but this is what I do. I love to speak. And he's like, sure, I'll definitely, think about that and let you know, man. We could talk about that a little bit more. So if you guys are not willing to ask, you might be robbing yourself of way too many opportunities to do the things that you want to do. You gotta ask, man. Don't expect your partner to act in a certain way towards you because they should have known. No one is a mind reader. Man, I think of relationships all the time. Like, oh, you should have known that this is what I wanted to do. And oh, you should have thought that, blah, blah, blah. You should have known I didn't like this. No. Clear communication, over communication for clarity's sake, asking questions. These are all things that need to happen, because when you assume that someone should have known, you're not giving them a fair chance, because no one can read your mind. And this is not just in relationships, because I could get really deeply into relationships, but that's not my expertise. I just love leadership, and that's where I'm proficient at. When it comes to building partnerships, when it comes to the relationships that you have with your coworkers and the people that you are teaming up with, even if you're in freaking school, high school, college, and you have a partner on a project, don't think that they should have known the curriculum, and they just should have known the job that they were supposed to do because you did 95% of it. They should have known to do the 5. It's not fair. You need to be able to communicate. So a lot of not making assumptions is about being bold and asking for what you want and being clear about what it is that you need from someone else. You have to be. If not, there's going to be a lot of opportunities that are taken from you and robbed, and that you rob yourself, and a lot of opportunities that you miss out on, not even that are just taken from you, but that you miss out on because you decided to shut your mouth and not speak up for the things that you wanted. So don't expect people to do the things that you want in your head. It just makes 0 sense. Like, go talk about it. Go have a confrontation. And it doesn't have to be mad, but you need to be able to speak about what it is that you need from someone else in order to meet the needs that you need, or the goals that y'all have as an org. Here's the next note. Don't ever think that you can change someone. Love is not that powerful. First, don't ever think that you can change someone. Love is not that powerful. People don't want to change unless they want to. And if you want to change someone, it's a key indicator that you don't like who they are as they are. Real love is accepting people as who they are without wanting to change them. This is really, really tough. And this is something that I probably see myself do a lot, especially when it came to more relationships. So again, I'm gonna try my best to keep the relationship bits a little short, because I'm not some relationship guru. I might have a little wisdom, but yeah, our job is not to change people. Like, it's up to the personal. We have a personal responsibility to want to grow and develop ourselves, which can produce some type of change. But if you're trying to change somebody and it's because you love that person, or you work with this person and you just want things to be done a certain type of way, and you're trying to change the way that they think and do things, that is not okay. And also, that's not loving at all, because you're trying to change somebody into your image. Not loving at all. Okay, love is, again, it's when you get to accept someone and want what's best for someone and do things that show care for them, and show love for them, right? By honoring them, giving the things that they need, holding them accountable, encouraging them. These are all things that show love and express love to the other. But if you're trying to change someone that you love, is it that you love them, or that you love yourself so much that you want them to be like you and do the things that you want them to do? It's usually kind of what happens. And I'm gonna just let that sit there. Our last note is this, y'all. Don't hold people to the standards that you have for yourself. It's not fair. I broke my heart so many times on this, man. Like, obviously, I have very high expectations for myself, and it's not obvious, but I do have high expectations for myself, and I act that way. And when I interact with people, a lot of times I give them the adoption of these expectations, and I expect them to do the things that I know that I would do, or I expect them to do the things because we have a relationship, and even though I didn't explicitly communicate it, because I've treated them in a certain way, or because I've behaved a certain way, I expect them to behave that way because that's what I would do. Y'all, the world doesn't revolve around you. And that's just the truth. It doesn't. No one really cares so much about you to have to cater every little thing to you, because we are all individuals in our own experience, right? Even when it comes to my marriage or my wife, like, the world does not revolve around me and or her. And we have to do our best to put certain things aside so that we can have clear expectations and communication amongst each other. right? Because the standard that I have for myself and the standard that she has are two different things. And there has to be compromise in that so that we can love each other better. The way I might clean something, the way she might clean something, two different ways, right? And if she's holding me to an expectation that she didn't communicate, she's gonna be mad at me because I'm not meeting that expectation, and vice versa. All right. So the expectations that we have for ourselves, y'all, there has to be grace, because it's not fair. It's not fair. You're not talking to mini yous or people who are gonna be like you. You're talking to them, and it's best for us to be understanding, loving, and learn their nature. Accept that and work with that. Try to build bridges instead of just saying, "Hey, this is the thing. You just need to give it back to me in the way that I want you to give it back to me," and not give them any communication. About to sneeze. Excuse me. Down. Anyways, but expecting people to see the world the way you do is just foolish. It's straight up foolish, y'all. It's prideful, it's selfish, and it's foolish. We're not the only ones with lenses, and the more that we blur our own lenses by assuming things and not searching for clarity and for understanding, we are robbing other people from opportunities of growth and knowledge, reconciliation, good communication, and a lot of things can turn sour when we are not doing the things that we are supposed to do as leaders, which is communicate, asking questions, trying to find understanding so that we can do our jobs better, so that we can steward the things that we have well. All right, so again, just to go over some of the main points, because that was our last note for do not assume. It's real simple, y'all. When we assume we believe that they're true, it's your right to ask questions. Ask for what you want. Over communication for clarity is better than assuming every single time. Over communicate if you have to, just don't assume. Expecting people to act a certain way towards you because they should have known is not okay. Holding people to expectations that you have for yourself, not okay. Trying to change people that you love, not okay, because changing people is not an indicator of love. It's an indicator of selfishness. All right? Because we want something from them. So don't make assumptions, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I'm trying to do my best to kind of stay really geared towards leadership principles and ideas and things that'll help equip us. Because I do notice I tend to like run off into a whole bunch of other situations. And if y'all like that, that's great. And I'll keep doing that. I'm trying to be authentic and continue to be myself. But also I understand that sometimes that may not be helpful. But even the way that we conduct ourselves in relationships, the way that we conduct ourselves in the workplace, the way that we conduct ourselves at home by ourselves, like all these things matter. So trying to ignore them might not be helpful. Maybe it is helpful to just be real about it and what context it lies in. So thank y'all for watching. Please give a like, share, subscribe, turn that bell icon on, just so that you can get notified whenever we drop another video. And I'm also gonna post the last video here so that you guys can watch it, all right? Have a good one.